welcome. My name is Lexi Jong, and here I like to talk about luxury makeup. And today we are taking a look at the new SUQQU Pre-Summer 2021 collection. And this collection is called Garden After Rain. It is a stunning collection. I know there's been a lot of talk about this on Instagram and, in the comment sections and so forth. And a lot of people are worried that they won't be able to get their hands on this. It is true that this is a limited edition collection, and it has been available at Selfridges so far, sold out very quickly. They will restock, so follow at SUQQU Europe. I'll leave the Instagram handle down below in the description box for you, but follow them, check their stories, keep an eye on their stories, and they will be putting up when they have restock information. So it has already been released at Selfridges. It will be back. It will be in limited quantities. However, Selfridges had the first go essentially at this collection. So it will also be stocked at Harrods and Liberty London, and that will be on May 6th. So you will see this collection again at those retailers. So definitely something to check out. Also, if you missed out on something online at Selfridges and you're interested in purchasing from the store directly from the counter, I will leave that information down below as well. That is actually what I did, and I did not experience any shipping or taxes through that either. I do have the global shipping option though. I mean, I think if you are not a member at all to Selfridges, you will have shipping. So just something to note there. In general, shipping from Harrods or Selfridges is around $30 US. I think it's 25 euros is the typical fee. Now, one thing I'd like to mention is even though I did not experience shipping this time ordering from the counter, I cannot say that that will always be the case going forward. Things are changing. They do now offer consultations, virtual consultations online. So if you're interested in other SUQQU items or seeing any of the collections in advance, you can definitely schedule a consultation for them. I keep the link in my link tree on Instagram, and I will also include it down below in the description box. It's not an affiliated link, it's just a link directly to where you can go to schedule a virtual consultation with the SUQQU team at Selfridges. So just something to note. And yeah, this is kind of a little bit new to everybody. So definitely expect some changes. And again, I don't know if I will have shipping fees next time. I just know that I did not this time. So just a little bit about this collection from SUQQU. And this information is directly from the SUQQU website. It says, this collection takes its inspiration from a garden after rain upon the brink of changing seasons. As spring showers fall, the emerging summer blooms reveal their deep, vivid colors, contrasting with the raindrops glimmering on the petals. Our latest color collection reflects these beautiful shades and textures with a range of products designed for the perfect early summer look. And I have to say that this is the perfect description for this collection, because if you have looked at flowers and so forth that are wet after a rain shower, you'll see how vivid those shades are. And that's really what these eyeshadow palettes remind me of. They definitely have a vibrancy there, some vivid shades. And I have to say that the two eyeshadow quads in this collection are incredibly special in my opinion. Now, I do want to mention that this quad here, number 102, this one is exclusive to Selfridges. So if you are interested in the pink quad, you will have to purchase this from Selfridges. It will not be coming to Harrods or Liberty. So let me go ahead and start swatching these. Now, with these two eyeshadow quads, you can see that they have 4 different shades and they have varying textures. The first shade up here is a little bit of a duochrome. So you can see it's kind of a soft warm pink with gold reflect in there. It's actually a really special shade. Then this shade here, that kind of reminds me of like the Guerlain Meteorites kind of pressed. You can see it's like a toppery shade, but it's not white. It's not clear. You can definitely see color and pigment. It's got some multifaceted sparkles in there, but again, it's got kind of that warm pink vibe. This brighter pink here, in the pan, these two look like they have a similar finish, but on the eyes, this actually turns into a really beautiful satin with a subtle shimmer. And then this last shade here is more of a matte. I'd call it more of a satin matte. It's not a flat matte. There's definitely something still there. Definitely no shimmer or anything. So This one is palette 102, and according to SUQQU, it's a stunning combination of a warm pink with deep red tones paired with a shimmering gold to bring light and gold. And I think it's a really, really beautiful quad. In particular, I love these two shades. Pink eyeshadow quads are typically not my thing. You know, I don't usually like pink eyeshadow on me except for very certain pale pinks. But this one I really like. And I have to say that these shades, they can go on very softly. You can also build them up very intensely. And I just think they're easy to work with. And for a pigment such as pinks and reds, which are very intimidating to me, this is a dream to work with. So I'm very happy that I picked this one up. Now this here is number 103. According to SUQQU, it's a deeper, cooler tone palette with sophisticated mauves and purple for elegant evening looks. And again, just like the pink palette, these two top shades are going to be a little bit more special. This first shade is, again, a little bit of a duochrome shade. You can't really tell so much in the pan. And then when you go and you put it on, you can see like a shift. So it's subtle, but you can see it's like brown and you've got like this purple reflect in there. This is actually gorgeous as a one and done kind of shade. You can see it's a warmer tone brown, but it's got that cooler purple tone shift to it. And then the topper, you can see that these two toppers look very different. This one's definitely more mauvey purple versus pink. And then we have this bright, you know, it's really a true purple. Violet to me has a little bit more undertones going one way or the other. And this one here is definitely really more like a true Crayola purple crayon. And then this last shade here is a deep brown. So finishes, again, this is going to be more of like a shimmery duochrome. You can see that the pink version is much more shimmery. This one's really more of a satin finish. And then we have the topper. And then these two here are definitely more matte at the bottom here. Now, between these two mattes, I would say that the brown one here has a little bit more of a satin matte finish, whereas the purple is really more of a true matte. So here are both of the eyeshadow quads, 102 and 103. Now, for those of you who are new to SUQQU eyeshadows, they recently redid their formula. Now, these are called the Signature Color Eyes. They are just a fantastic formula that can go on very sheerly or very pigmented, and they're really easy to work with. The palettes are magnetized. You have a mirror up here. I have a piece of plastic here on the mirror that you can remove, obviously, and it comes with two utensils. So you have a mini dual-ended brush and a mini dual-ended foam tip applicator. So those do come with the palettes. And these are made in Japan. They're 0.21 ounces or 6.2 grams. Now, SUQQU is also pretty popular, I would say, for their blushes. These are the Pure Color blushes, and they released two limited edition shades. This is number 126. You can see that they have more of this gradient style. So you've got, you know, the pure pigment shade here. You've got something a little bit more in the middle, and then the highlight. So let me swatch it so you can see all three of those shades. So these are the three shades here. So left, middle, and right. And you can see that the far right is obviously a highlight. So you can get kind of like a highlighting blush. You can obviously pair them in any way that you want, but you can get customized color essentially. So this is 126. And according to SUQQU, it's a subtle blend of floral pink with soft peach to add a gentle flush. And you can see that the highlight itself is a little bit of that peachy tone there. Now this one is number 127, and I wasn't sure how much I would like this one because I have purchased some online before that ended up being more yellow than I thought they were going to be. But I have to say, look at this. It is stunning. It's definitely beautiful, soft orange shades, and these oranges are not too yellow. So again, we've got the far left, middle, and right. You can see that the highlight shade is definitely yellow or gold, And this one's described as a warming blend of golden yellow and muted orange to add warm radiance. I have to say that I don't find this to be too muted. It actually has a little bit of a vibrancy to it that just looks really fresh and spring-like to me. So I really like this. I really like them mixed together as well. Now for packaging, these are in a slim compact. They have a click closure. Again, you have a mirror, and it does come with a little brush, which I have misplaced. And these are 0.26 ounces or 7.5 grams. And again, they are made in Japan. You can see how nice and sleek these are though. And then SUQQU also released 2 new limited edition lipstick shades. Now these have a matte finish, and you can tell because they don't have the shiny black package, and they do have more of this brushed gold on the top, which signifies a matte formula. So these are 3.7 grams, and these are made in Japan. So this first one here is number 112. Okay, so here's 112. And 112 is described as a hydrating petal pink, accentuates your natural lip tones. And I would say that it is more of a medium toned tea rose would be my opinion. So it's definitely deeper than a petal pink to me. And then next up we have 113. Sorry, that one. Put that there. So this is 113, which is going to be a brown tone. So this is a versatile brown a la mode for all skin tones. So I think to me, the a la mode description just kind of means that it's a little bit more muted, kind of like with cream mixed in. But you can see that this is going to be a warm tone brown. So there's definitely a little bit of red or pink kind of mixed into that. And I think the shades go really well together. Now, this lipstick formula is, it's a matte lipstick. It's not drying. You can still feel it on your lips. And one of the things I like about this is you can dab this on lightly, get tons of pigment, and if you don't want the matte finish, add a gloss or a lip balm, and it's very comfortable and the pigment lasts for a long time. So it's a very nice formula, and I am enjoying them so much. So I have been really enamored with this collection since I received it, and I am very, very happy with this. I've been using it quite a bit. So I have several looks that I want to share with you. And then today I decided to do a get ready with me for this look. So with the get ready with me, I also have some additional sort of like swatches, combinations type things that you can look at. And there are timestamps on here. So if you're not familiar with the timestamps on YouTube, go to your little bar at the bottom, your progress bar, and it should tell you the section that you're in. And the timestamps are labeled in the description box as well. So if you want to skip around, go ahead. But first off, I'm going to share with you the eye looks that I created, then some blushes and lip swatches. Then we're going to do the get ready with me, and I have some additional lip swatches in there as well with a little bit more of a vibrant application, or a deeper application in that case. So after that, I'll see you back here and we'll talk about my final thoughts. Okay, so we're going to start off with the purple quad, number 103, Amayoto, and I'm using the Refer 27. I'm going to go into the purple shade. Just trying to be very cautious because I wasn't sure, I don't want it to be too deep here. But I decided I want to do a neutral look with purple in the crease. I'm going to take this Energy Soft Shader into the deeper brown shade at the bottom. Just put a little bit of this on the outer corner here. Wiped off the brush, and I'm going to go into the top left shade. And we're going to put this kind of all over here. Next, I wiped off the brush. I'm going to go into the toppery sparkly shade. I'm going to apply a little bit of this with my finger and just See if that adds a little bit more sparkle. And I'm just going to kind of put this all over the inner half. All right, just going back in with the Refer 27 and just kind of blending the edges. I'm going to take the SUQQU Pencil 1 into the deeper brown shade and a little bit into the purple. So I just mixed both of these shades here, and I'm just going to put this on the outer corner here of the lower lash line. I wiped off the pencil. I'm going to go in the top shade. Just going to kind of blend those together on the lower lash line. Taking the pencil 1 and just going to get some of the sparkly topper shade on there and add that to the inner corner here. And same brush, upper lash line, dark brown. All right, so that is it for a more neutral kind of look with the purple quad, and I'll see you in a minute. And here is the look from a distance. I added the Lancome Lash Idole mascara, and I haven't finished my makeup yet. I have the Koh Gen Do Aqua foundation on in 002 and the La Bouche Rouge satin lipstick in nude pink. And that's it so far. Thanks. Okay, so I'm going to go into the 103 and I'm using the Refer 27. You can see I did use it before. It's actually the same day. I'm going to go into the deep brown with this. And I have the Viseart eye primer on. Now I'm going to go into the topper shade with this brush. And I'm going to get some of this on here, and I'm just going to kind of diffuse that into the crease as well and take that up. Let's see how that looks. Interesting. So I just wiped off the brush and I'm just going to kind of soften that up a bit. So I'm going to take the soft shader that I used before into the first shade of the purple quad. And now I want to play with this shade in the pink quad. So this is the SUQQU Worker Pro, and I'm just going to use this and put it all over the lid. This shade is just beautiful. Okay, yeah, I'm glad I got this palette now. Just going to add a little bit more coming from the outside in. I love this shade. I mean, can you see the color shift there? It's not like a super huge shift or anything like that, like a multi-chrome or a duochrome, but there's definitely more of that like gold glint. It's pink and gold. It's very pretty. So I'm going to take the topper shade with this and just add this to the inner corner and do kind of like the inner third, just a little bit here. And then for the upper lash, I'm taking the flat definer from SUQQU into the purple. I'm just going to put this closely along the lashes. So you can see I'm using like little strokes instead of just stamping because I want it softer. And this process can produce fallout with shades, but I'm not noticing any. So far so good. Whatever's left is just going on the lower lash line. Just gonna add a touch of the brown to the lower lash line as well. All right, I am incredibly tired. I'm just taking the flat definer long ways and just kind of softening that a little bit. So my eyes are watering not from the shadows, but it's a combination of allergies, lack of sleep, and the fact that I have had to wash my face about 10 times so far today because I've been doing the Hermes blush swatches. So the sensitivity is not related to the shadows. Just wanted to make that clear. So this is the eye look up close, and I'm gonna finish my makeup. I'll see you in a second. So this is the final look from a distance. So I have the Surratt Noir Lash Tint on my lashes, the Gucci Brow Pencil in 03, along with the clear Surratt Brow Pomade on top of that. And then on my cheeks, I have the Dior Forever Bronzer in number 4, along with the Rose Plume Blush from Hermes. On my lips, I had some residual lip balm left over, and then I very lightly tapped on the Hermes lipstick in number 54, Rose Nuit, which is actually a matte shade. And with the lip balm underneath, it does not appear matte. So that's basically everything. The foundation is the Koh Gen Do Aqua in 002. Thanks. All right, so I'm taking this ILNY Crease Pro. I'm going to go into the browner shade here. And I'm just going to get a little bit, well, I guess that's actually more than a little bit, but we're going to put this in the crease. And you can see I'm barely touching because I don't want too much pigment here. So now that I've laid down that product, I'm just wiping the brush on my cloth, and I'm just going to go in and kind of buff that out just a little bit. And I'm going to go ahead and take this ILNY. This is the Builder 2. I'm going to go into this deep purple. And this, you can see, is not a very flexible brush. It's really more for patting down the color. And I want to put this purple all over the lid and then play with the duochrome shade in the pink palette. Actually, I like just that purple even just on its own. You can see that it actually can go in pretty softly. So that's just with patting. Okay, going back in with the Crease Pro, just kind of blending those edges a little bit. Okay, and then I'm going back in with the Builder 2, but I'm going to use the other side. I'm going to go into this pink shade here, this like duochrome. And I'm going to start kind of patting this on from the inner corner. You know what? Actually, I'm going to use my finger, I think. It's hard to get exactly what I want with the brush. That brush is a little too inflexible for this. So I've gotten most of the pigment off on the inner portion, and then whatever's left on my finger, I'm just kind of going over there. So I'm going to take the Surratt, this is the medium smoky eye brush, and I have nothing on it. I'm just going to give this a little bit of a blend. Okay, and then I'm going to go back into the purple. I'm going to dip into this shade, which is also a little bit of a duochrome, but it's more brownish. I'm just going to slowly add that to the outer corner here, and then just softly blend that in so you can barely see it. All right, so I'm just taking this smoky eye brush and just kind of blending the crease area a little bit more. And then for the lower lash line, I'm taking the Chanel Cielo Ombre Contour in number 12, Contour Clair. This is part of their regular line. So I'm just going to put it here on the outer third and then blend that out. So I'm using the smudger one from SUQQU. Then for the upper lash line, this is just a little bit of mixing medium. This one's the Esom one. And this is the Ben Nye RS0 brush. It's just a liner brush. I'm going to go into the dark purple here and put this on the upper lash line. So let's just see here. Yeah. Okay, so just going to stick this on the upper lash line. I'm not doing a wing or anything though. So this is the final eye look up close, and I'll see you in a second. So this is the final eye look from a distance. I just added the Chanel Metal Terracotta Volume mascara, and that's it. All right, so I'm starting off with the Rever 14, and I think I'm actually going to go into this deepest shade here. And I'm just going to go in very lightly, and we're going to put this in the crease here. So I'm not a huge fan of pink eyeshadows, so I almost didn't get this one. But I have to say, out of all of the pink and reddish tone shadows I have, the SUQQU tones work the best for me. So yeah, I have to say that you can see in the pan, it looks more like a brick red, but look at it on my eye. It's, I think, more flattering on my coloring than this shade would look to be in the pan. So I'm going to diffuse that out a little bit. I wiped off the brush. I'm going to go into this topper shade and I'm getting it all over the brush. And I'm going to go into the crease from the inner corner. And I'm just going to kind of buff over those edges there, kind of blend that out a little bit. Up to the brow bone. And then I'm going to take the SUQQU. This is the KZ06. I'm going into this bright pink. And I'm going to put this all over the lid. Wow, the sheen on that is really pretty. And I wiped off the brush. I'm going to go into this lighter shade, the first shade. Just going to start this in the inner corner area and just softly diffuse over the top here. So just going to about the halfway point, very softly. I'm going to take the KZ08 into the topper shade and I'm just going to twirl my brush in here for the inner corner. And just going back in with the crease brush. And then for the liner, I am going to use the Shiseido. This is by Roto Green 06. Just going to put this on the upper and lower lash line. And I'm using the SUQQU pencil one with nothing on it to just kind of soften that and blend that out. Stretch it to the rest of the lash line. So this is the look up close. And this is the final eye look from a distance. And I'm going to finish my makeup. All right, so on my face, I have the Givenchy Prisma Libra foundation in shade 1 and 95. And then I also added a little touch of the Sisley Fido Touche bronzer. And we're going to go ahead and add the pink blush. This is number 126. So we're using the SUQQU KZ4. I'm going to dip into the pink portion. Okay, so just dabbing it, you can see you get a ton of pigment. So comes up easily. Okay, so that was a little bit of a lighter application than the other side. Just gonna add a little bit more. This is a really pretty soft flush of color. Yeah, I like this color. Then for highlight, I'm going to take the SUQQU Detail Pro. I'm going to go into this portion. Just going to add a touch of that right here. Can you see that kind of gave it a little bit of a, not just highlight, like it looked a little bit more iridescent. It's very subtle though. It's going to be a subtle highlight, which, you know, the SUQQU ones always are. I really like it. So this is the 126 blush from a distance. All right, so for blush, I'm gonna go in with the orangier shade today. This is 127, and I'm gonna use the SUQQU KZ04, and I'm gonna get from the orange side here. I like it. Can you see it? I know it's a little bit light. I don't want to put on too much, but I like the shade on me. Build it up a little bit. Okay, I'll build it a little deeper so you guys can see it better. But this shade, the part that I like about it is there's like some brightness to it. You know, it's not like too brown, it's not too yellow. It's more of an actual like mandarin orange kind of shade. A little bit more yellow than a true mandarin, but you know, it's adding brightness without looking too yellow, which is yellow does not work on my skin tone. So if you're like me, this might be a nice option. And then I'm just gonna go in with the Fan Pro from Sonia G into this highlighting portion here. Just gonna get a little bit here and just dust that up. You can see it's a very soft color there. See it? So this is the blush from a distance. And I'm just gonna dab on the 112 lipstick. So just for a light application. And this is the 112 lipstick from a distance. So this is the 113 lipstick with a light application from a distance. And this is my final look for today. So I have the 102 eyeshadow quad on and the blush in number 127 and then the lip color in 113. All right, so we're gonna start off with the SUQQU, the cream foundation, and this is in shade 110. And I'm very, very happy to hear that they will be making new shades in this at some point, sometime this year. So this shade is not the perfect shade for me. I dished up a little bit too much, but we're gonna work with this. I'm going to use the Surratt foundation brush. I actually have the SUQQU foundation brush that was released at the same time, but I prefer that with thinner, more serum-like foundations personally. This one, I like something that like does more of a buffing job, if that makes sense. And I think the Surratt brush, while it isn't the softest, it really does perform really well. So you can see how natural of a finish this foundation gives you. It doesn't look heavy, it's moisturizing, it goes on nicely. And I'm not using a ton of product either. All right, so here is the foundation. You can see I still have plenty left on my hand, but I think this is enough coverage for me today. And for concealer, I'm taking the Pat McGrath concealer in L1, which is a little bit too light, and I'm just gonna mix a tiny touch of this with the foundation. So I'm just gonna add a little bit of that. And just a tiny bit, you can see I have a brush hair sitting on my nose. I have to say the brush does not, you know, shed a lot or anything like that. That's just totally random. Still got that hair there. There, finally got that. Okay, and for powder today, I'm just gonna go in with the Sisley pressed powder in number 1 Rosy, and I'm just gonna get a little bit on the Rephr 25 brush, just for a very light dusting. Okay, and for blush, I'm actually gonna go into both. So I'm gonna dip into the brown, or the orange and the pink, and just kind of mix it. So just knocking it off here on my hand, and just gonna put that on lightly. This is the KZ04 brush. I'm just gonna get a little bit more. Okay, so that's just gonna be a soft wash. I know it looks pretty light, but in person, I think it looks like a good amount of product. So there we go. I think that looks about right. So I really like these mixed. I really like them separately. I wasn't sure how much I'd like the orange one, but I really do. I'm glad that I got that. It's actually not too yellow, which was my fear. So I've done a few eye looks with these quads already, which I will be sharing with you. And I end up really mixing these two quads together quite a bit. That really seems to be how I like to do it. But I'm gonna stick to just the pink one right now because I know I've definitely done the purple on its own. And maybe I'll add a little purple for the lower lash line, but we're gonna stick to the pink for now. So I'm going into this deepest shade here for the crease. This is the Sunuji Classic crease, and I'm just gonna get a little bit of pigment here. I wanna keep that very soft. So I barely touched it. Actually, I'm just gonna go straight to the other eye with what's on there. So I'm now gonna wipe off the brush and then buff that. So next I'm gonna take the Rephr 28 and I'm gonna go into the deepest shade. And I'm just gonna add a little bit of this to the outer corner here. All right, and then wiping that off, I'm going to go into the brighter pink here. And I'm gonna put this adjacent to it. And what you can't really see as well in the pan is that this shade has a beautiful shimmer. I'm not even sure how well that shows up there, but you can see that next to the red here, they go very nicely together as well. But there's just this really fine pink shimmer in there. I think it's really pretty. Okay, and then I wipe that off and I'm gonna go into the lighter pink. So doing just kind of like a gradient eye with these shades here today. You can see there's definitely a stark line there, whereas the other ones haven't. So let me blend that a little bit. Look at that. You can see how well those are blending together. I'm like, I don't need any effort. And it's just giving a really soft blend there. Very nice transition. Next, I'm taking the Rephr 03 into this multicolor topper shade. This is really more of just like a sparkly shade. I'm going to add this to the inner corner here. And I'm going a little bit, you know, on the lower lash line as well, but I'm going to drag this brush into the crease, to the front part of the crease, for just a little touch. So I don't even like pink eyeshadow usually. I don't, you know, it's like, it's really hit or miss for me, but there's something about this pink that I actually really like. So I think the undertones on here work a little bit better for me. That being said, I still don't like using any of these pink shades on my lower lash line. I just think it's too much for me. So I am going to go ahead and add the purple for the lower lash line. And I have to say, SUQQU Couture, she sent me this beautiful picture of something a makeup artist did using like pinks on the top and purples on the bottom. That one was much more dramatic. So I'm not going to do that right now. Maybe at some point, let me know if you guys are interested. But I'm just going to go into the deep purple and put this on the lower lash line and kind of bring it up a little bit, kind of in a softer version of what she showed me. So I'm going to use the 03 brush and I'm going to start here. So I'm just going to kind of smudge that a little bit, kind of get rid of that. And then I'm taking the Sonia G. This is the Builder 1, and you can see it's just kind of like a pointier tip. I'm just going to drag a little bit of that shadow out here, but in a thinner line. So it's super, super soft and you can barely see it. So I feel like even though that is so light and you can't really see it, it still kind of helps draw your eye up. Actually, I feel like my eyes look a lot more open right now with these colors than they normally do. So yeah, I'm liking that. So I think I'm just going to go into the topper shade in this purple palette, and I'm going to use this. I'm going to start about here and drag this to the inner corner and just kind of blend these shades a little bit here together. So you can really tell that these topper shades, although they are very sheer, they don't have, you know, a ton of color, you can definitely tell the difference between the two of them. This one definitely has more of that purple vibe to it versus the pink, but you can actually see like light lavender, light lilac type shade with this topper shade. And then for the upper lash line, I'm going to go into the purple with this Builder 1. And I'm just going to very lightly by the lash line add this in. So you can barely see the purple, but look at the difference that it makes between my eyes. I think it makes a big difference. All right, and then on the inner rim of the lower lash line, I'm taking the Chantecaille Brightening Eye Kaujal. You can see I smudged that. I'm going to fix that. All right, so this is today's eye look up close. Let me add some mascara. For mascara, I'm going to use the Lancome Lash Idole mascara. This is just a sample that I've been using and I really like it. So I got some more of these mini tubes actually. So I stabbed myself in the eye, obviously. Let me go ahead and do the other eye and let that one calm down a little bit. I'll clean that up in a minute. And that's what I get for not really looking at what I'm doing. Okay, so it's a little watery, but I just took a tissue and wiped away the part that was, you know, a little, I got the mascara on my face. So now I'm just going to going over this area very softly with the eyeshadow again, just to kind of fix anything that got messed up when I wiped it away. So I'm going to go ahead and add a little bit to the lower lashes. Okay, so I'm going to add just a touch more of the blush combination using the same mix that I used before. Just going to add a little bit more, make it a little bit more vibrant. And then for highlight, I'm going to go into this one here in the pink quad, which is 126. And I'm using the Fan Pro from Sonia G. So I'm just going to get some here and just very softly dust that on. Just put a little bit at the apple. Okay, so there's that. And then for brows, I'm just going to use the Surratt Brow Pomade. I'm going to use the one in brown and just going to add that super quickly. I actually did just purchase a SUQQU brow product, but yeah, I haven't opened it yet. So I want that a little bit more natural, so I'm taking the spoolie on the Gucci brow pencil, just running through that. And since I've been kind of in a mixy mood, I think let's go ahead and mix these lipsticks as well. So first, let me just apply these for you so you can see what they look like, because I patted them on before, but let me show you what they look like full blast. This is number 113. Not the best application, but you can see what the color is. And for number 112, I like this color with the look actually, but I want to mix the two of these together a little bit, very softly. So I'm going to remove this and we're going to mix them. So I'm going to take the Gucci lip liner in number 1. This is Nude. I'm just going to add this first to the outer boundaries. And I just wiped off the lipstick. I didn't actually wash my lips. So I'm going very softly because I actually don't want a harsh line. All right, so I'm just going to take my finger and just kind of soften that a little bit. And I'm going to start off with 113. I'm just going to dab this on. So very softly. So I'm going to blot my lips. So just one blot, and now I'm taking 112, and I'm going to dab this on, but I'm going to focus in the center area. So I rubbed it all in, but a little bit more pink in the center. Right, so that's my lip look. I'm just gonna blot this a little bit to soften it up a little bit more, and that's it. So I will see you in a second. And this is the final look from a distance. Thanks for getting ready with me. All right, so I hope that was helpful. Let's go ahead and do just a few comparison swatches. And I don't have a ton of dupes for this, personally. I don't have any palettes that are truly similar to the purple one, but I thought we could swatch some of the shades in the Viseart Violette palette. So I'm gonna start off with this shade here. You can see how vibrant that is. I'm just gonna put it like this. You can see that the undertones are different. It's definitely more muted and softer in the SUQQU, and the Viseart shade has a bit more of a, like a brighter blue undertone. Okay, and then we're gonna look at the shade next to it. This one's not really gonna go, but just wanna show you the difference here. You can see how much more blue base this one is, and it's a shimmer. So those are, I mean, this one here is really the closest I have. And although this shade really isn't similar to it, I'm just gonna show you what it looks like compared with this more duochrome shade here. So this one's definitely much more mauve toned in the Viseart, and that's this shade here. And then we have the Natasha Denona Purple Blue, but I just wanted to show you that these two shades really aren't going to kind of match. One's too pink and one's too blue. So I'm just gonna put them here so you can kind of see how they compare, but they're definitely gonna be different. Actually, the pinkier one matches a bit better, just not enough. So let me just show you those mixed. So these are the two shades mixed together. And that's gonna make a better mix to the Violette from Viseart instead. Now for pinks though, I thought we could take a look at some of these Chanel palettes. So this is Candor A Seduction. So we're gonna look at these two here. So these are up here, let's see here. And then just put that one there. So tone-wise, that is fairly similar. The difference in this is going to be the finish here, because there's a shimmer in the SUQQU versus no real shimmer in the Chanel there. You can see this one here has a little bit more of a deeper like berry base than the SUQQU. And then here is Candor A Provocation, which is number 362. So first, let's start with this lightest shade here and just see how that compares with any of those. Not really. And then the berry shades here. And let's put that there and there. Okay, so this last shade, here, let's put that right with it. Go put that in the middle here. That's fairly close. And then here's the other one. We'll put that right here as well, which again is also going to be fairly close. So here's the thing that I thought was weird, because this SUQQU palette reminded me of the Chanel quads like pretty much right away, but the Chanel quads, they don't look that great on me. I feel like the SUQQU one looks a lot better. There's something about the undertones in this one that just look a little bit brighter, they don't make my eyes look as like tired and sick. So I don't know, but they are fairly similar. So if you already have the Chanel quads, don't feel like you have to rush out and get this pink quad. All right, so let's take a look at a few lipstick comparisons. This is one of the SUQQU lip fogs in number 6. And you can see that there's a little bit more rosiness, a little more peachy pink in the lip fog here. And this is the Chanel Rouge Allure Velvet in 237 Beige Ardent. Again, more red. It's actually more of a mix of the two SUQQU lipsticks together. And then we have Tamarind from Chantecaille. Again, definitely more of that reddish undertone in there. This is the Chanel Rouge Coco Flash in Lust. And that's right here. So you can see that they don't quite go. And then Lisa Eldridge Velvet Blush. Oh, it's definitely more purpley than I was thinking. And Chantecaille Moabi, let's put that right here, which is going to be a little bit pinker, but this is actually the closest that I have in my collection. But this is going to be, a shinier formula than the SUQQU, which obviously has a matte finish. So those are my lipstick comparisons. For blushes, I don't really have any that go, but I just want to show you what some of the past SUQQU ones look like in comparison. Okay, so I just took a quick look. This one here is number 124. We're just going to swatch the pink shade here. I'm going to show you how that compares, but you can see it's going to be much softer and lighter. It's also, it's just a much more muted cool tone pink. And this is 125. This is going to be another like orangey tone one. Here, let's put this right here. But you can see how much softer it is. It's actually more peach. To me, this looks like a muted cantaloupe. If you're looking at like the cantaloupe fruit, that's what it reminds me of. So if you have either of these, they're definitely much more vibrant than these ones that came out in, I think this was the previous collection. So yeah, I like them all. They're very different, but I have to say that these two new ones I like the most out of the previous few collections. So I really like these ones. So those are all of the comparisons I have for you today. And I have to say, overall, I am really loving this entire pre-summer collection. If you're able to pick up any of these pieces and you have interest, definitely, I wouldn't hesitate. The quality is there. The colors are there. They work really well paired with other things. And I do feel that these two eyeshadow quads are pretty unique. So even if you already have the Chanel quads, I feel like although those two brighter shades are similar, I personally, for me, the special part is that duochrome and the topper shade in those palettes. I just think it's worth getting if you can get it. However, don't stress yourself over getting it. We always have so much makeup coming out. There are tons of new releases all the time. The SUQQU summer collection is coming out at the end of May. And I just, there's no point stressing over something you can't get. However, if you happen to see it and it pops up, it's available and you're interested in it, definitely jump on the opportunity, in my opinion, because these are really great. And yeah, I mean, you can't go wrong with anything from this collection. The lipsticks are great. The blushes, the eyeshadows, I really love the entire thing, and mixing and matching these, they work so well. So thank you so much for tuning in. I hope this was helpful. Don't forget to check the description box for information on purchasing and for, following SUQQU Europe for restock information, ordering from the store, all of that kind of information down below. Thank you so much. Have a great day and stay safe and healthy.